So I'm here with Aidan McCarron here of Dediserve. He's Managing Director of Dediserve, which is a fairly new company, deals with virtualization and some other things. Aidan, basically, can you actually explain to an idiot what virtualization is?
Well, basically virtualization is taking traditional hardware and reusing it more efficiently. So instead of days gone by where you had overkill in terms of resource on a server and you had just one website basically using 10% of a server, a virtualized server basically lets you utilize all the complete server and to slice and dice that server up into additional unique servers. So the ability to transform one dedicated server to potentially 5 or 6, all with their own individual root access and different operating systems.
What are you talking about, though? I mean, you're talking about, I understand the concept of a server that's in front of you. When you're talking about 5 servers, what are you talking about?
Well, you have a traditional square box server and you're slicing and dicing them up into individual smaller square boxes. So each one of those smaller boxes takes a bit of the RAM and a bit of the CPU from the overall machine.
Can you explain slicing and dicing, though?
Well, partitioning off, but down to a hardware level. So it's traditional partitioning, but it's right down to the root level. So you can actually modify it down to a kernel level if you're a developer.
Why would you do this?
Well, it allows you, as I said earlier, utilize the full server rather than paying for six individual servers. You're only paying for the price of one, but you're getting the power of 6 individual servers. So cost reduction mainly.
Okay, and any other benefits?
Well, cost reduction would probably be the biggest one. Obviously, you're saving on power, you're saving on hardware. The ability then to run multiple applications and multiple websites off one website and all in different operating systems.
Is it just IT companies that would come to you looking for this kind of a service?
No, because of virtualization now, a virtualized server is a dedicated server. So you have small businesses or end users and development companies obviously accessing virtualized servers and using them for internal mail servers, for internal websites, for public websites. So it's all people, not just IT based.
Well, who do you market to?
Well, primarily we market to web development and web designers because there is a lot of technical know-how needed. Because obviously you're only giving them root access like you would a dedicated server. There's no easy to use control panel for non-technical users. So you do need a bit of technical knowledge to actually utilize it and use it properly. Okay.
And do you run into any problems when you're trying to pitch to non-technical companies in terms of what the hell you're trying to sell them?
Yeah. Well, I suppose we do provide a control panel to make it easier to use in terms of automating backups, adding databases, uploading websites, and that. There is a bit of there is a learning curve, but it can be done for non-technical users if they're willing to learn. But ideally, it's more suited for technical people to actually use.
Okay. And what is the cheapest you can get into virtualization utilization for?
Well, we start at €20 a month, and that gives you half a gig of space and 30 gig of SAN storage, and that's perfect for most people starting off because that way it saves you splashing out £200-300 a month like you normally would for a traditional dedicated server. So it lets you build up the website or application slowly, and as you get busy, then obviously you can scale up in terms of the amount of RAM, amount of storage. So that means you're not outlaying a large sum of money initially without knowing how well your website or application is going to do, and then if it does do well, you can easily scale up then from your existing platform.
Yeah. How secure is it?
In terms of security, because it's partitioned to a hardware level, it's nearly impossible for anyone else to actually get in, even though you're using the same hardware, to actually get into your partitioned area of that server or that piece of cloud. So in terms of security, it's pretty much 100% foolproof.
And what about backup?
Backups, yeah, we provide automated backups. Usually you have your virtualized server, but it's connected to a SAN storage array. So you can do your automatic backups. Then they're replicated to a SAN storage, and usually then they're replicated off-site for additional security. So if you do lose everything on your virtual server, it's literally just wipe it, reinstall it, restore from backups, and you're pretty much basically back up and running straight away.
When you're in a nightclub and someone asks you, what do you do? What do you tell them?
suppose the easiest way to start is, have you ever heard the internet? And then you explain to obviously a layperson, like when you type, like a lot of people obviously use the internet but don't actually know how it works. So the easiest way to explain it is when you're sitting at your laptop or desktop, you type in the address, basically magical lasers.
Yeah, it's a bunch of tubes, isn't it?
Exactly, magical lasers shoot down those tubes out under the ground. They find your data center, which contains the server, then finds the server, which contains the website, and basically downloads that. And we're the people basically provide that.
And they're in the nightclub now. They're still with you after the word server, are they?
Well, they start to lose me there, but they like the noise of lasers and shooting out. So that usually keeps them keen until they actually. But over the years, I've kind of realised that's probably the best analogy I can give in terms of what we actually do in terms of a hosting company or a virtualized provider.
Do your parents know what you do?
No, I haven't a clue, and I've tried many times. I don't think they care.
What do you think the biggest challenges are for the industry at the moment?
I think it's convincing people that the traditional way of hosting sites and dedicated services is gone. That cloud is the future. It makes sense, in terms of the environment and in terms of reduction of space, reduction in the use of hardware, and the reduction in power, which is kind of in terms of energy, the costs are spiraling. Everyone knows that. So people just need to trust the cloud and trust virtualization, that it does work and that it is safe. And I think that's where the industry will eventually lead, because we can't, data centers especially, just can't keep growing the way they are and keep adding server after server for every single new website.
Well, and yet Microsoft just invested several $100 million in a massive data server out in West Dublin. So, I mean, perhaps maybe some organizations or companies are investing huge amounts in sort of super data farms.
Yeah, well, Microsoft also invested heavily in their next generation cloud platform. Obviously, they have a lot of legacy stuff that they can't just automatically all move over. And even cloud space does need data center environments. So although they open a massive data center, they're dealing with crazy numbers in terms of millions of users anyway, and billions of emails, and especially their Hotmail platform. But they'll eventually move on to the cloud platform because they've already signaled that they're heading that way as well.
Generally, how do you find levels of internet connectivity or broadband connectivity as a business here in Dublin?
Honestly, not great. I suppose we're lucky in terms of the rest of the country that Dublin probably has. If you're going to get fast broadband, this is the place to get it. But in terms of business, the price-wise and that, I still think it's not great in terms of stimulating business. And if they're serious, government especially, if they're serious about it, they need to up the speeds and down the price, basically.
What kind of a pipe do you have coming into your business?
Well, we're on a shared one here at the Digital Depot, so you can buy slices basically off, I think, Smart Telecom provided here. So you can get any speeds here. I think they have a couple of 100 meg pipes coming in anyway, so you can, whatever you're willing to pay for, basically.